Have you ever had that strange, unshakable feeling, like someone's eyes were on you, even when no one was around? What if I told you that instinct you brushed off wasn't a fluke? What if, in this very moment, a big name, someone influential, powerful, and perhaps even unreachable, is silently watching you? Not in a creepy, hidden camera kind of way, but in a divine orchestration, as if something bigger than you has intentionally aligned their eyes with your path, your actions, your energy. You might not have noticed it outright, but deep down, there's been a quiet whisper in your soul, hasn't there? A soft nudge in your chest, a tingling on your skin, a sudden urge to look up, because you could feel that someone, somewhere, was tuning into you. And guess what? That's not your imagination. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal might completely shift how you view your current circumstances, your environment, and even the delays, the silence, the pauses that once left you frustrated. You see, when you feel like you're being watched, it's not paranoia, it's preparation. Maybe you're in a phase where things seem quiet, too quiet. No results, no feedback, no signs. But what if, behind the scenes, someone important is silently observing you, assessing your growth, your character, your reactions when no one's applauding? What if the reason you're not being directly approached just yet is because you're being silently evaluated for something greater? Let me ask you this. Have you been working hard, giving your best, loving purely, staying patient, but feel like it's all going unnoticed? Have you wondered, what more do I have to do to be seen, to be chosen, to be valued? Now imagine that someone influential has already taken note. They're not just seeing your efforts, they're seeing your essence. They're quietly admiring your resilience, your loyalty, your spiritual strength. The reason you feel like you're under a spotlight is because you are. But it's not to expose your flaws. It's to evaluate your readiness. Yes, readiness. Because a divine appointment is unfolding, and it's going to require the right timing, the right heart posture, and the right people who are silently being guided to see you in a way that even you haven't seen yourself yet. This is no ordinary attention. This is spiritual alignment. Someone whose name holds weight in the physical or spiritual realm is watching and considering you. There's something about your energy that has captured interest, something about your story that's too powerful to ignore. And that's why the delays, the detours, the quiet phases weren't wasted. They were all observed. In this message, we're going to peel back the layers of divine orchestration. We'll talk about why this influential figure is drawn to you, what signs confirm their interest, and how your life is about to shift once their silent watch turns into bold action. Because by the end of this, you won't just feel seen. You'll know you've been watched with purpose and prepared for promotion. Now let's go deeper. Why would someone powerful, respected, or spiritually elevated be watching you? What makes you stand out from the crowd, especially when, on the surface, you may feel ordinary, overlooked, or even forgotten? The answer lies in something you can't fake, manipulate, or chase: divine favor. You've carried burdens quietly, haven't you? You've walked through trials with grace when you could have easily turned bitter. You've extended love even after betrayal. You've smiled through the ache, and heaven noticed. But here's what most people don't understand. It's often in the seasons of silence that heaven starts moving the most. You see, powerful people don't move impulsively. They watch, they listen, they discern. Likewise, divine beings, angels, messengers, and even chosen individuals sent to elevate your life, don't make hasty moves. They wait for signs. They wait for spiritual alignment. They wait for the exact moment when your internal growth matches your external readiness. And right now, that alignment is forming. Behind closed doors, Your name has already been mentioned. Not in gossip, but in consideration. A person of influence, whether in your career, community, or even on a spiritual level, is being prompted to move toward you. But they're being led carefully, spiritually guided. Because this connection isn't ordinary, it's anointed. There's a reason your path has been protected. There's a reason certain people had to exit. There's a reason doors closed that once made you question your worth. It wasn't rejection, it was preservation. Because something greater, someone greater, was being aligned with you. And they couldn't be introduced until you reached this phase of spiritual maturity. Let me ask you something. How do you react when no one's watching? Because that's the real test. Character is revealed not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. And you, beloved, have passed test after test. You could have retaliated, but you chose peace. You could have exposed them, but you prayed instead. You could have given up, but you endured with faith. And guess what? That silent endurance has power. Heaven has been documenting it. And someone important, maybe a gatekeeper, a mentor, a decision-maker, or even a divine connection, is about to step forward, because they've been drawn not to your noise, but to your quiet strength. They've been watching. Not always visibly, not always directly, but they've been picking up on your light, your energy, your unseen work. Because here's the truth. When God is about to elevate someone, He first watches how they serve in the valley. And you served faithfully when nobody clapped for you. You showed up even when your heart was heavy. You prayed when others panicked. You stayed kind when others mocked. And that's what caught the eye of this big name. That's what stirred something deep in someone's spirit to watch you more closely, to keep tabs, to wait for the right time to reach out, to bless, to shift something major in your life. This isn't about becoming famous. This is about divine recognition. Someone sees value in you that you couldn't manufacture or advertise. You're being seen through spiritual eyes. That's why this connection will be so powerful. It's not based on ego, image, or gain. It's based on destiny. And when destiny calls, nothing can stop it. You may have questioned, why me? But the better question is, why not you? You were built for this. Molded through fire, strengthened in isolation, prepared in stillness. And now, eyes that matter are watching. But not everyone watching you is meant to follow through. Some are just witnesses to your rise. But this particular person, the one we're speaking of today, is watching with intent. Intent to move, to bless, to support, or maybe even to partner with you in something greater than either of you imagined. And here's where it gets even more spiritual. This person's eyes have been spiritually unlocked, meaning they're not just seeing you for what the world sees. They're seeing the divine signature on you. They're sensing the oil, the calling, the fire in your soul. They might not even understand why they're so drawn to you yet, but they feel it. They're feeling led. And soon, they'll have no choice but to act. Because when God highlights someone in the Spirit, the natural must follow. And beloved, you've been highlighted. Now comes the part most people never see coming, the divine reveal. You see, when someone powerful is led to you by spiritual influence, it's not always immediate. It happens in layers. First, there's a stirring in their heart. Then come the dreams, the signs, the synchronicities. And finally, clarity strikes like a bolt of light. That's where this person is now. They've been receiving signs about you, symbols, names, even subtle nudges from the spiritual realm that you are connected to something they've been praying for. They may not have been able to put it into words just yet, but their soul already knows. It's not just your personality, not just your looks. It's what your spirit holds. Your essence speaks of healing. Your presence brings peace. Your silence even speaks volumes. And the angels around you have whispered this truth to someone who holds influence. Think about it. Why would they be drawn to you without reason? Why would they feel your energy before ever sitting across from you? Why would your name keep popping up? On screens, in rooms, in conversations they weren't expecting. Because when the divine wants to make something known, it echoes. This person has started to feel a divine pull they can't ignore anymore. They're not just watching. They're meditating on what it means. They're realizing you're not just someone. They're realizing you're part of their next assignment, their next breakthrough, their next blessing. And here's the twist. They thought they were the one who would be blessing you. But God is revealing something much deeper. You are the one carrying something they need. Let that sink in. You were never the weaker one. You were never the afterthought. The anointing on your life is what's shifting them to action. Because heaven doesn't just send help to the helpless. Sometimes it sends recognition to the faithful. And you've been faithful long enough. You've been asking questions like, why do I feel something big is about to happen? Why do I sense a change in the atmosphere around me? Why do people keep acting different toward me lately? Because the spiritual dimension is already moving, and your physical world is catching up. Angels have been dispatched. Conversations have already begun. Decisions are being weighed about you, not because you begged for it, but because the time is finally right. And this person, this big name that's coming, whether in love, career, ministry, or calling, is about to step forward not because you fit a role, but because you fulfill a prophecy they didn't even know was connected to you. Let me say this gently. You are someone's divine confirmation. And when they meet you, something in them will click. Something in them will awaken. Their spirit will say, "This is it. This is the one I was shown." So don't be surprised when it happens. Don't be shocked if you start seeing strangers treating you with sudden respect. Don't doubt it when people of high status reach out unexpectedly. Don't question your worth when a seat at the table is offered with your name already carved into it. You're not being favored by luck. You're being moved by divine precision. Everything about you was prepared for this moment. Your voice, your story, your energy, even your wounds. Yes, even the pain you've endured is part of what's drawing them in. Because it shaped you into someone real, someone anchored, someone who doesn't just look good in the light, but shines even in the dark. This is more than opportunity. This is alignment. Heaven is not guessing anymore. Heaven is releasing. And the person watching you, they're about to make a move that changes everything. Because the moment of revelation has arrived. Now listen closely, because what happens next will feel orchestrated, like it's too perfectly timed to be coincidence. This person you've been sensing, the one being drawn toward you, is about to step forward. Not in a dream, not in a hint, but in real life. And it will feel surreal. You might be in the middle of your daily routine. Maybe you're not even thinking about them anymore. Maybe you've already let go of the when and how. And that's exactly when it'll happen. Because divine encounters don't arrive when you're striving. They arrive when you're aligned. They may appear unexpectedly, at a place you frequent, through a mutual contact, or even through a direct message that makes your heart skip. But however they come, one thing is certain. The moment might be brief. The conversation might start simple. But the connection will run deep. Because this is no ordinary meeting. This is something heaven scheduled. They will look at you with curiosity, almost like they're trying to place you in their memory. That's because they've already met you in the spirit. They've seen you in their visions. They've felt your presence before your physical meeting. And when you speak, they'll hear something in your voice that settles something in their soul, like a question they didn't even know they had suddenly answered. And here's what will blow your mind. They'll come with an offer. It could be an invitation to collaborate, a proposal of partnership, a moment of confession, a declaration of recognition. But it won't just be random. It will feel like the missing puzzle piece finally clicking into place. Don't downplay yourself when it comes. You might feel tempted to shrink, to brush it off as too good to be true, to wonder, why me? But heaven wants you to own this moment, because the same angels who have been watching over you are standing close to witness your response. They are rooting for you to believe what God has always believed about you, that you are worthy of favor, of love, of honor. This encounter isn't just for your benefit either. It's going to bring healing to them too, because what you carry is powerful. It breaks chains. It awakens hearts. It brings clarity. And whether you realize it or not, your presence has already been ministering to their spirit. This person has questions they haven't dared to ask out loud. But your story, your truth, will answer them without trying. And soon after this moment, everything around you will begin to accelerate. Doors will open quickly. Connections will multiply. Paths that once seemed blocked will suddenly clear. And it won't be because you changed overnight. It's because your appointed time has arrived. God is not just aligning people anymore. He's aligning timelines. There will be a shift in how people treat you. Some who overlooked you will circle back, now seeing what they missed. Others may distance themselves, unable to handle your elevation. But you'll stand firm, because this time, you won't question if it's real. You'll know it is. And here's the most beautiful part. You'll begin to feel peace. A deep, unshakable peace. Not because everything is perfect, but because you'll feel that for once, life is catching up with a promise. Destiny is unfolding. And you're not chasing, it's coming to you. Remember, you didn't manipulate this. You didn't force it. You didn't beg for it. You aligned for it. And this encounter, this divine collision between your path and theirs, is only the beginning. It's the first of many breakthroughs that will confirm what your spirit already knew. Now that the encounter is set in motion, your angels are moving in ways you can't always see, but they want you to feel it. They're leaving signs like breadcrumbs, a number that keeps repeating, a sudden warmth out of nowhere, a feather in an odd place, a dream that lingers, a song you hear at just the right moment. These aren't accidents. They are angelic confirmations, divine codes saying, yes, this is the path. Yes, this is the time. Keep walking. Your angels want you to know something very clearly now. This moment isn't isolated. This connection, this unfolding, it's part of a much bigger divine plan. And that plan has layers. You see, while you've been waiting, healing, and growing, so has this other person. And as heaven has worked on both of your hearts separately, the angels have been preparing your lives to merge at just the right point. Not too early, not too late, perfectly on time. They are orchestrating alignment not just in emotions, but in vision, timing, and purpose. Because your purpose isn't small. It's not just about personal peace, it's about impact. There's a mission tied to your connection. Something powerful happens when you and this person come together in truth. You unlock not only emotional healing, but spiritual authority. You both carry keys to each other's next level. And that's why the enemy tried to delay it. That's why confusion, false connections, distractions, and even betrayals may have come your way. Because this union was seen as dangerous to darkness. But it's too late now. Because the angels have already been sent ahead of you. They've cleared the path. They've silenced the voices that tried to keep you small. They've exposed the liars. They've lifted your name in places you haven't even entered yet. They are working in realms where your name is already known, even if your face isn't. And what's even more beautiful is this. They're not just doing this for romance or reunion. They're doing it to establish you, to put you where your influence will touch others, to give you the platform to speak truth, to give you resources you'll use to bless generations. You've been trusted with this, not because you're perfect, but because you're pure in heart. Your spirit has been tested in fire. You could have become bitter, but you chose better. You could have given up, but you still hoped. And heaven noticed. Every tear that hit your pillow was recorded. Every prayer you whispered under your breath was heard. Every act of kindness you gave without applause was witnessed. And now, the angels are responding in full force. They are bringing together the people, the moments, the surprises, the redirections. Also you walk into something greater than you imagined. This bigger plan is about more than just you and them. It's about restoring what was lost, reclaiming joy, showing others what it looks like when God writes the script, when heaven aligns hearts not just for connection, but for calling. And here's the gentle nudge from your angels. Don't be afraid of this next level. You've outgrown the old version of you. You're no longer the one who has to beg to be seen. You're no longer the one who doubts their own worth. You've stepped into your light. And now you're about to be recognized, not just by a person, but by destiny itself. So breathe, beloved soul. Rest in the knowing that heaven is ahead of you, that this moment was always written, that every delay had a purpose, and that what you're walking into isn't just divine, it's designed. Your angels are smiling right now, because they see what's about to unfold. They know what this connection will unlock. They know how many people will be touched by your obedience, your love, your courage. This is bigger than a wish, bigger than a hope. This is a heaven-backed assignment. And you're not just part of it. You're chosen to lead it. There is a prophetic shift happening in your life, and the angels are now declaring it openly. You are stepping into a season where things begin to happen quickly. Where once there were delays, there will now be sudden movement. Where once there was silence, now there will be divine conversations. Where once your name was overlooked, it will now be called out with honor. This isn't ordinary change. This is spiritual realignment. A shifting of the atmosphere around you, both in the natural and in the unseen. Your angels say, what was hidden is about to be revealed. The person who held back, who stayed silent, who wandered in confusion, they're being pulled forward now. Not by guilt, not by pressure, but by the same divine hand that's been guiding you. They are having wake-up moments, dreams that won't leave them. Words spoken by strangers that strike their spirit, unexplainable urges to find you, speak to you, and confess what's been buried. This is the hour of return and recognition. But the angels want you to understand something deep. This isn't just about them coming to you. It's also about you becoming. You've been growing into the person you were always meant to be. The version of you that no longer questions their intuition. The version of you that stands in light even when others throw shadows. You are now in alignment with your divine path. That's why things feel different. That's why your old surroundings no longer fit. That's why you sense a stirring in your soul, like something is building, because it is. Heaven is elevating you, not just emotionally, but spiritually, financially, relationally, and purposefully. This upgrade isn't based on luck. It's the result of the seeds you planted in faith, even when nothing seemed to grow. Your angels were there when you gave without return. They stood by you when you loved without limits. They heard your cries when no one else did. And now, they are releasing what was stored up for you all along. Expect signs. Expect clarity. Expect messages out of nowhere. Expect doors to open without you knocking. This isn't fantasy. This is prophecy being fulfilled. And the one who once didn't see you, they now can't stop thinking of you, because spiritual eyes have been opened. They are beginning to remember what their soul always knew. You were divinely placed in their life for a reason. They'll admit it. Maybe through a message. Maybe face to face. But it's coming. And when it does, don't doubt yourself. Don't shrink back. Don't second-guess what your spirit already confirmed. Walk in truth. Speak from love. Let the past go, not because it didn't matter, but because your future deserves full space to bloom. This moment is sacred. The angels have prepared it with detail. Your timeline has been edited by heaven. What was once a painful waiting room is now a glorious stage for breakthrough. You will soon say, "Now I understand why it had to happen that way." Because every twist, every heartbreak, every delay was actually protection. Your path is pure now. And your heart, it's no longer looking for validation from outside. It beats in rhythm with heaven's will. You know who you are now. You know what you deserve. You know who sent you. That is your power. So hear this final whisper from your angels today. You are not forgotten. You are not late. You are right on time. And everything is about to unfold exactly as it was divinely written. The right person. The right message. The right opportunity. The right alignment. It's already in motion. You are stepping into divine timing, divine connection, and divine visibility. Keep walking. Keep believing. Keep trusting the process. Your story is about to inspire others. Your healing is about to multiply. Your love is about to be reflected back to you, pure, clear, and undeniable. You were never alone in this. Heaven has always been here. And now, the reward season has begun.